Hi guys, in today's video we are going to discuss about the most important Canadian writers in English literature. Now this video will be utterly helpful to you if you are preparing for NTA UGC NET English paper or if you are sitting for an MA entrance or PhD entrance, etc, etc. Now this is a topic where most of the people find themselves at sea because we don't have any good books in world literature. That means the study material is really scattered and you need a good source in order to prepare for it. Now I am going to prepare a couple of videos on world literature. So I will take up one country at a time and I'm going to talk about the most important writers that lie in that zone. So in that regard, today's video is the first in that series and this is going to be one on Canadian writers, the most important Canadian writers in English literature. So let's have a look at it. And before beginning, I would like to tell you that I am making these videos in order to help you to qualify UGC NET paper, to qualify your PhD entrance or MA entrance. These will be utterly helpful to you in order to write your PG and UG college exams as well. So if you want to score the best of the marks or if you want to qualify your dream examination and become a scholar or a professor, then do subscribe to my page and hit the bell icon so that you get a notification every time I upload a new video. Now let's begin. Alright, so I'm going to begin with, of course, the most important writer in this regard, somebody whose name everybody knows, Miss Margaret Atwood. Now, she has won the prestigious Booker Prize Award, the Scotia Banguiller Prize, Arthur C. Clarke Award, and she's also won the Princess of Asturias Award for literature. Her most famous work is the novel called The Handmaid's Tale, which won the Arthur C. Clarke Award, the Governor General's Award, and which was also chosen as the finalist for the Booker's Prize. Now, let me tell you that this novel will be utterly important for you from paper point of view because there is a very famous TV series that is based out of it. Now, when a particular work of literature finds its way into movie adaptation or TV series adaptation, it becomes all the more important for any kind of an entrance exam because there's a higher chance that a question will be asked from it. So I will request you all to please have a brief idea about what the main characters in this novel are and what the novel is about. Some other important novels that have been written by Atwood are The Edible Woman, Surfacing, which is about a woman's return to her childhood home in the northern wilderness of Quebec, Lady Oracle, Cat's Eye, The Robber Bride, which was later adapted as a television film in 2007, and Alias Grace, which is about a real life Canadian girl who was convicted of two murders in a 1843 trial. Guys, some other important novels by Atwood are Oryx and Crake, in which she describes a plague-induced catastrophe in the near future through the observations and flashbacks of a protagonist who is the sole survivor. Then there is the novel called Mad Adam, The Heart Goes Last, and Hack Seat. The hack seat is very important from net point of view or entrance exam point of view because this is a retelling of William Shakespeare's The Tempest. And The Heart Goes Last will be a very important novel in the category of dystopian novels because it imagines a dystopian America in which a couple is forced to join a community that functions like a prison. Guys, she's also written short stories, some of them being Dancing Girls, Bluebeard's Egg, Wilderness Tips, Moral Disorder, and Stone Matrix. Some important poetry collections compiled by her are Double Persephone, The Circle Game, Expeditions, Speeches for Dr. Frankenstein, The Animals in That Country, The Journals of Susanna Moody, Procedures for Underground, and Power Politics. Now, you will simply ask me that, ma'am, why are you providing a chronology for these publications? And my simple answer to you will be because there are papers that are set on these pattern these days. You will find all kinds of entrance exams like NET exam or PhD entrance exams, and they're very much interested in knowing about a chronology of these works. So even if you don't know the exact date of publication or year of publication, it will not make a big difference, because ultimately, if you have a basic idea of a chronology of these publications, even that will be utterly helpful to you. So this is my humble request to everybody who's watching my video right now. Take a humble and a good, smart suggestion from me right here, right now. Do have a look at the chronology of the works that you're looking at, because these days entrance exams are very enthusiastic in asking questions from these units. All right. So like this, I have, given you a good chronology of some of the other poetic collections that is published by her. You can make your notes about it. You especially try to make handwritten notes, because they really help you in memorizing a topic better. I mean, of course, my videos will be helpful, but it's better if you take a pause right here. You take a pen and a paper and you jot all of these down in your own handwriting and revise it later. All right. The next important Canadian writer, friends, that I'm going to talk about is Lucy Maud. And she is best known for a series of novels called as the Anne of Green Gables. She's a very famous children's book writer, because this book was very famous among kids. So this book is about this orphan girl called Anne Shirley, who is sentimental but a charming girl who finds a home with an elderly couple. So this whole book is about her experiences, and the writer draws a lot from her own childhood and her own personal life, especially about the rural lives and traditions of Prince Edward Island. Now, Prince Edward Island is going to be the place where most of her novels are going to be set in. All right. Now, I have because Lucy Maud was writing most of her novels in the form of series, I have provided you here with this novel series that have been published by her. So the first one and the most important one, of course, will be the series for Anne Shirley, that is Anne of Green Gables. So the novels that lie in this category are given before you. Take a pause, jot these down, write these down, put their publication year before them, so that you have a good idea about their chronology. Like I mentioned, chronology is very important from paper point of view. So Anne of Green Gables, Anne of Avonlea, Anne of the Island, Anne of Windy Poplars, and so on and so forth. Please do keep on jotting them down. Then there comes the Emily trilogy, in which we have Emily of New Moons, Emily Climbs, and Emily's Quest. The Pat of Silver Bush chronology, which has Pat of Silver Bush and Mistress Pat. And then the Story Girl, which has the Story Girl and the Golden Road. Guys, the next important Canadian writer that I'm going to talk about is Alice Munro. Again, a very popular name, a name that most of us have heard. She is often compared to William Faulkner, because Munro's work is often known as Southern Ontario Gothic, similar to the American literary genre of Southern Gothic in its focus on the people and traditions of a particular region. Because William Faulkner used to write about the people and the traditions and the horror and the Gothic stories of the of South, not South American continent, but the southern area of United States, the southern states of the United States. So, in a similar fashion, Alice Munro's novels are also based around the southern part of Ontario, and the genre is Gothic, hence the comparison. Now, Munro received the Nobel Prize in Literature in 2013 for her excellent and extraordinary contributions in the world of literature, especially for her short stories. Now, do remember, any writer who's been awarded with a Nobel Prize or a Pulitzer Prize is very important from paper point of view. Hence, Alice Munro has made it to our list of the most important Canadian writers. Also, do remember that she was the first Canadian to receive this honor. She was the first ever Canadian to receive a Nobel Prize in Literature. In 2009, she won Man Booker International Prize for her lifetime body of work. She is also a three-time winner of Canada's Governor General's Award, Writers Trust of Canada Award, Marianne Angel Award, and Rogers Writers Trust Fiction Prize. Most of her fiction is set in her native Huron County in southwestern Ontario. Like I said, the southern Ontario Gothic fiction is going to be her forte, her USP. She's basically, more importantly, she's trying to focus on her native Huron County. That is the place where she's born and brought up. So she'll try to bring up the background from this county itself. Guys, I provided you with a list of her short stories. Now, why is this list important to you? Like I've already mentioned, these days, any kind of an entrance exam like NET or JRF or PhD entrances, they're asking a lot of questions based on chronology. But with Munro, the case also being that most of her short stories have won some kind of an important award or the other. And that you will, of course, understand by mere observation. As you can have a look on the screen, most of the short stories that she has written has either bagged some kind of a award, or it has been shortlisted for some award. So I provided you with a wholesome list of all the important short stories that she has written over the years, with also the award that the respective story has won. So I would request you to have a good look at this list. Again, pause the video right here, take a pen and a paper and write down this list. Jot down this list in your own handwriting so that it is utterly helpful to you. This is a continuation of the same list of short stories by Alice Munro. Alright guys, next I'm going to talk about Rohinton Mistry. Now about Rohinton Mistry, he is an Indo-Canadian writer. He was born and brought up in Bombay. He's a Parsi. Then later on he relocated to Canada for higher studies. While he was in college studying a dual degree in English and philosophy, he started writing stories, started entering them into certain prize-winning awards, where he won a great deal of awards as well, and that is from where his popularity basically grew. Now his works often turn into poignant, stark, but humorous exploration of the everyday lives of Indian Parsis. Because he himself is a Parsi, he belongs to that community. He has an insider's view about the lives of Parsi in the Parsi community and Parsi neighborhood of Bombay, India, which is today we know it as Mumbai, of course. So his works are centered around the same theme and same people. And he has won the NewSat International Prize for Literature in 2012. He was awarded the Commonwealth Writers' Prize for his novel A Fine Balance in 1996. Here I have provided you with a good list of his novels and short stories. His first novel was Such a Long Journey. Next came A Fine Balance, and then came Family Matters. Short story collections being Tales from Firoshabad, which was also published as Swimming Lessons and Other Stories from Firoshabad. Then came Searching for Stevenson, and then The Scream. Guys, let me give you a brief overview of these novels that he has written. Such a Long Journey is an intricate tale of the triumphs and disasters of a kind hearted bank clerk's friends and family set in India in 1971, a time of domestic turbulence and war with Pakistan. So, in 1971, India was undergoing a war situation with Pakistan. So, what was the life and what was what is the story of the protagonist friends and family around the same time that has been portrayed in this novel. A Fine Balance was a study of Parsis living at close quarters in varying degrees of harmony during difficult times, and in this case, particularly in India of 1975, which was in a state of emergency. So, in 1975, a national emergency was declared in India. So, what impact did it have in the lives of Parsi community? That has been pictured and portrayed in this novel. Family Matters is set in a tiny two-room flat in a modern day Mumbai, and it presented a compelling portrayal of a family of Parsis living in pressing circumstances, in hard circumstances. Later on, very recently in 2008, he published a novella called The Scream, which is narrated by an aging, isolated resident of a Mumbai apartment building. Guys, now this is a previous year question paper from a question from Net. So they asked about, they gave you a list of certain short stories, and they asked you that which of the following belongs or does not belong to this collection called Tales from Firoshabad. So in order to answer that question, of course, you needed to know all the tales in this collection. So I have presented here, I've given you a good wholesome list of all the tales that are compiled in this very famous compilation. They being Auspicious Occasion, One Sunday, The Ghost of Firoshabad, Condolence Visit, The Collectors, Of White Hairs and Cricket, The Paying Guests, Squatter, Lend Me Your Light, Exercisers, and Swimming Lessons. Okay, so like I said, this is a previous year question from UGC NET exam. Hence, it is utterly helpful, it is utterly useful for you to know, and hence, it makes a little, sneak peek into our video. Alright guys, I would like to end the video of today with this very famous Sri Lankan Canadian writer, Michael Ondaatje, or Ondaatje, sorry, I always pronounce it wrong. The T will be silent here, Ondaatje. He is the first ever Canadian laureate to win a Booker Prize. He won that in 1992. His collections of poems, the collected works of Billy the Kid, and There's a Trick with a Knife I'm Learning to Do, won the very prestigious Canadian Governor General's Award. He also authored the famous novel The English Patient, which inspired the film with the same name, that is, The English Patient, which later on won 9 of 12 nominated Academy Awards. Yes, like I mentioned earlier, Ondaatje is a Sri Lanka born Canadian writer. In 2018, he won the Golden Man Booker Prize for his work, The English Patient. His famous novel Anil's Ghost was the winner of 2000 Giller Prize, the Prix Medicis, the Kiriyama Pacific Rim Book Prize, the 2001 Irish Times International Fiction Prize, and Canada's prestigious Governor General's Award. Ondaatje's novel Divi Sadiro also won the 2007 prestigious Governor General's Award. I've given you a good, wholesome compilation come chronology of his poetic collections. Have a look at them. Take a pause at the video, jot it down for your future preparation so that in future you don't have to come back to my video again and again. Now, of course, if you love the video very much, if you love hearing from me, if you love studying from me, then do come back always and always. But let me give you a promise here. I will keep on making more and more videos in the future on a regular basis. But I just have to tell you that there's no better way to prepare for an exam than by making handwritten notes and then revising it again and again. Trust me, this is a trick that has worked wonders for me. This is the trick that helped me to qualify UGC NET exam in just 40 days preparation. All you need is a very good source, a very good teacher, and for that I'm here for you. But in order for you to succeed in any exam, be it the UGC NET exam or be it any other entrance exam like an MA entrance or MPhil entrance or a PhD entrance or a postdoc entrance for that matter later on, or in order to write compelling research papers or journals or dissertations or thesis, you need to have a very, very good command over your subject. And in order to, derive that command, you need to write great handwritten notes. You need to prepare great handwritten notes and you need to revise them again and again because the syllabus is really vast and you really need to have it all in your memory, right? So please try to make handwritten notes more often and it will be really helpful for you in the future. Guys, With that, I would like to end the class of today. I hope you all enjoyed the class very dearly and very much. Please do like the video of today and subscribe to my channel in order to receive more videos on English literature. These videos will be really helpful to you if you're preparing for any entrance exam like NET or JRF, if you're sitting for an MA, PhD or MPhil entrance, or simply if you love literature too much to not miss any great videos on it. With that, I would like to take a leave. Have a very good day and do hit the bell icon that you will see with my name and my subscribe button so that anytime I post a new video, you get a notification by me. This is Aishwarya Puri signing off. Take care. Bye bye.